What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for the day, and in yesterday's video, guys, we actually almost completely swept the board on every single pick that I sent out. We had a very, very good day yesterday. Pretty much any single pick that I ended up choosing in last night's game. Again, credit to the Indiana Hoosiers. They had an amazing game. They ended up having an amazing season, but every single pick that I picked yesterday ended up hitting in some way, shape, or form with that Miami and Indiana teams. So you'll see over here, we actually cashed a 9x last night. This was a VIP only play, so hopefully you guys did get this in. This was a second half correlated entry right here. So I took Carson Beck over, I took Tony over. You will see here, this is extremely important to understand. I took Malachi Tony over. Malachi Tony gets 111 yards in that second half, okay? So if the number one receiver of Miami gets 111 yards, how many yards do you think Carson Beck has, right? Do you think Carson Beck goes over 100 yards or under 100 yards? Obviously, he's going to go over 100 yards if his number one receiver has more than 100 yards, right? So extremely correlated together. And I want to actually compare it to this entry right here. You'll see this entry missed, but still very, very correlated together, again, with League of Legends and with college football second half. I sent out 2 picks at halftime, all right? It was right actually before halftime, right when Miami missed that field goal, if you guys watched the game. They missed a field goal going into halftime. Carson Beck, I took his overs. Why did I take his overs, right? Think about why I took the Miami overs, and then I took Indiana guys to go under, all right? And very, stark contrast here. You have the number one receiver of Indiana. I took Elijah Surratt to go under. He ends up getting 0 yards, all right? So the number one receiver of Indiana gets 0 yards in that second half. Why? Because they were winning the game by 10 points, okay? Miami was losing by 10 points. Indiana was winning by 10 points. What happens when a team is winning? They end up throwing the ball less. What happens when a team is losing? They end up throwing the ball a lot more to try to get back in that game, right? So if you looked at the two teams, Carson Beck and Miami were throwing, and Indiana was running, all right? So very correlated together. Again, what's going to happen if if a receiver gets 0 yards, his quarterback's likely to go under, and vice versa, right? If a quarterback only gets 70 yards in the second half, then his receivers are probably going to go under, right? So very correlated stuff. Unfortunately, this one did miss this morning with League of Legends correlation. This team ended up getting 2-0'd, so they lost both games in a row. I was hoping that they would go 1-1 and maybe win one game, and they probably win over. But in League of Legends, when you lose games, you end up going under a lot of times, and when you win games, you end up going over a lot of times, right? And it's really not as difficult as it sounds, because you might have never heard of League of Legends before, but it's something that we always bet on in these kind of going into these months without football. There's a ton of League of Legends to be had. Probably the best sport to bet on PrizePicks, and it's really simple, right? When a team's winning, you get a lot of kills. When a team's losing, you don't get many kills. And the number one way to explain this is just think about playing video. Like if anyone plays video games, think about playing a video game versus your friend, right? And you're winning, they get really frustrated because they can't, kill you, or they can't do anything on you, like they can't, get stats on you or whatever it is. And if you're winning the game, you're going to get a ton of stats on them. You're going to be succeeding. You're going to get, a ton of statistics and awards and all that because you're winning that game versus them, right? So that is how League of Legends works. Again, we're going to be talking about that a ton going into the offseason, and it is really our number one esport. When it gets rolling, it really gets rolling. You'll see here we also cashed a 5x, obviously, too. We had CJ Stroud over 1 yard. This was a discounted play. Malachi Tony under, Carson Beck under in the first half, all right? So again, very stark difference from the second half versus the first half. First half, they had a much more balanced offense. I took Beck under, I took Tony under, and then the second half, they really were forced to throw the ball, so they ended up cashing overs on this play and unders on this play, right? So it doesn't really matter, guys. You can sometimes take the overs, sometimes take the unders. This was yesterday's play of the day on PrizePicks. I took Ben under. He unfortunately missed by 1 kill. And if you watch yesterday's video, I kind of did the whole thing where I was like, guys, they might go 1-1. They might go 2-0. If they go 1-1, I'm pretty confident that he gets about, maybe 4, 5, 6 kills, and he's going to go under. If they go 2-0, then, it's kind of a 50-50 coin toss, all right? This team ended up actually 2-0ing them, so they ended up winning the game. And just as I said about League of Legends, when you win the game, you get a lot of kills. He only goes over by 0.5. So at the end of the day, for them winning both games, which I really thought it was a 50-50 whether they're going to win both or whether it's going to go 1-1, he still almost hits the under right here and only goes over by 1. But at the end of the day, guys, it is what it is because, well, again, we cashed on Onyx right here, as you'll see, and we cashed on Chalkboard last night. And again, we are 1 kill away from also hitting a 3-man here on this channel. I believe if you go back to last week, we had a Steph Curry discount. We cashed a 3-man right here on the channel, okay? So again, these are 5 5x, 6x entries a lot of times, so you're not going to cash these every day. If you're expecting to cash a 5x, 6x entry on this channel every day, you're probably doing it wrong, right? That's not really something that's going to continuously happen. Again, if you play a ton of 9x's, right, you're expected to maybe hit 6, 7, 8 of those in a row before you actually hit that 9x, and that 9x is going to pay off all of those losses, okay? So better, this was another pick, I believe, on the VIP. We ended up cashing this. We took Bam over. Again, this was a discount for Bam, and a discount, he was halved, okay? His line was halved, cut in half, okay? He only got 16 points and rebounds, which is horrible for Bam, right? Normally he's in the mid-20s for points and rebounds. He ends up getting 16, but it cashes because we took the discount, all right? So this cashes just because the discount's there. And again, I'm able to put 10 bucks on this to win 30 bucks. So if you're a $5 better, a $10 better, there's no reason not to take these discounts like this because you're able to go up units just based off of players discounting their lines, okay? So a long ramble there, but we ended up being up 30 units so far this month, okay? So we are 20 days in. I mean, we're actually 19 and a half days in because it's the morning when I'm filming this, but we are, let's just say we're 20 days in, right? We are already up 30 units so far this month, okay? As you will see, everything is tracked right here. You'll see my record. We lose a ton more than we win. Why? Because I cash a lot of 9Xs and 10Xs and 4-mans and 3-mans. They're way harder to hit than they are to miss. You're going to miss a ton more than them than you're going to hit, okay? You have to understand that. Now, again, if you take 20 days that we're in 2026 and we are up 30 units, let's just call it, right? 30 units. That means on average so far this year, we have gone up 1.5 units every single day. And the main word there is average, all right? On average, we have gone up 1.5 units per day. This is why it's very important to track all your bets using Pikkit. It's my favorite way to track my bets. You can use code detective. That'll be down in the description if you don't want to sign up for that. Completely free. But again, guys, 1.5 units on average. Again, the number one word there is average because there's some days that we've gone down 3 units, 4 units, 5 units. There's some days we've gone up 10 units, okay? But overall, over 20 days of averaging, we have gone up 1.5 units every single day. So that means every day you wake up, on average, you're going to have you're likely to go up 1.5 units in my VIP. What does that mean? If you're a $10 better, that means on average you're going to go up $15 a day. If you're a $20 better, that means you're likely to go up $30 a day. Okay? If you're a $50 better, that means you're on average you're likely to go up $75 a day. All right, so think about that over the course of a whole year, guys. If you went up 75 bucks every single day on PrizePicks and on these different apps and stuff like that, and if you do the math and you end up averaging this out over 365 days, so we take a full year, this ends up being about 550 units that we are so far on track for this year, all right? Does that mean we're guaranteed to get 550 units? No, I'm just saying so far this year, guys, we're on track for 550 units. If that sounds absolutely insane, there's no way you could go up 550 units in a year. That sounds crazy. Well, look at what we did just a couple of, like 2 years ago, right? In 2024, we went up 600 units in 2024. Okay, so we actually did better than what we're on track for this year. Again, going up 600 units or 500 units is amazing, and very, very happy with the performance of the VIP, of course, over the past 2 years. As you'll see, 600 units in 2024. We went up about 250 units in 2025. So I'm trying to aim between, 500, let's do 500 to 600 units this year, right? That is my goal for the year. Of course, shooting for the stars, and yeah, we're crushing it so far, right? If you do not think we are crushing it with a 30 unit month so far, then you need to, I don't know, rethink your expectations or something like that, because this is how to win in sports betting. As you will see, there's ups and downs in this game. Already in the first 20 days of the year, right? There's ups and downs. It's a very emotional game, and I don't mean emotional where you have to show emotion. I mean, you have to be very, very steadfast. You have to treat it like a business, and you have to put your emotions at the front door when you're sports betting, right? This is not for the weak. It is much more, it is a difficult thing to do, but it's a simple thing to do. And all it is just tailing all my bets on the VIP. Okay, guys, it is as easy as that. So let's get into the first play of the day, and I'm actually going to take this pick on REBET. All right, so you'll see REBET. It is legal in all of these states right here in the orange. So if your state is in the orange, guys, you need to get REBET. It is one of my favorite apps. It has some of the best odds that there is. As I talked about yesterday with that Miami line on Onyx, they had a really good line for the Miami game. REBET has a very good line for NHL game right here, okay? So I'm taking the New Jersey Devils and the Edmonton Oilers to go under 6.5 total points in this game. As you'll see, I am taking this at minus 128. One thing I do like about REBET is they have a really good app, and they have a really good web application as well, right? So I like to sometimes have it on my laptop or my computer, and I'm able to just fire off bets a lot quicker when I'm on my laptop. And again, if you do not have REBET, guys, I highly recommend it. They're also doing a $100 purchase match, a $100 deposit match, and all the time they run different promos and different reload promos and stuff like that. For example, they might run a if you deposit in the next 6 hours, we're going to give you a free $50, if you deposit $50 or something like that, right? So you can consistently double your money on REBET constantly. Again, if you do not have REBET yet, you can download REBET. All you have to do is text me the word REBET to my number right here on the screen. I'll get you 1 free month of the VIP for doing that for me. It helps me out. It helps the channel out, and it'll also help you guys out by getting the VIP starting to cash every day, and you'll get REBET, where we are going to start hammering bets a lot. All right, guys. So go ahead and do that. Before I get into the second pick, I do want to say, like, comment, subscribe to get in this signed Nico Collins jersey giveaway, guys. This is going to be probably the last week that I go ahead and promote this, and then we're going to go ahead and give it away at the end of this week. All right, so get your likes and comments in. If we could get this video to 50 likes, that would mean the world to me. And again, we almost swept yesterday, so hopefully you guys did get some value in yesterday's video and did cash for that massive college football championship game that happened last night, of course. So go ahead and do that. Like and comment, guys. Here's going to be the second play of the day. So we have a lot of discounts today. It is Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks, and then there's another discount on Chalkboard. Okay, Chalkboard 20 days straight has done a 0.5 discount for some of the best players in the league. Okay, these aren't just some like random players. All right, you have Steph Curry, you have Luka, you have Anthony Edwards. Yesterday, who did they do? I'm blanking. Yesterday they did Steph Curry yesterday. All right, Steph Curry to get 1 point. That is the easiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, again, Anthony Edwards over 1 point. Super free line. This is going to cash pretty much 100%. And then we have Josh Giddey to go under 15.5 points. Okay, so this is going to be the play of the day on Chalkboard. Again, we have been consistent on Chalkboard, just taking these points, taking these 0.5 discounts. And if you don't have Chalkboard yet, I highly recommend it. Same thing with REBET. You can text me Chalkboard, my number here. You'll get a free $100 deposit match, and you'll get a free square. Okay, so a ton of value in today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. And then the third and final pick of the day is going to be the Taco Tuesday pick of the day, all right? And we do have League of Legends, and we have the Taco here. Tyrese Maxey's line is normally 29.5, so admittedly, this is a pretty good Taco as far as PrizePicks tacos go. A pretty solid Taco because his line is discounted down by about 7 points, which is pretty good, right? But I will say, I do want to just say, like, guys, Chalkboard's right here. He's going to cash. Anthony Edwards is going to cash. I will say Tyrese Maxey probably has like an 80% chance of going over this line. But again, why even chance it when you could just get Chalkboard and go ahead and have that hit 100% of the time? But again, on PrizePicks, we're going to still take this. It's still a really solid pick. And again, you want to take all the tacos throughout the day whenever they do come out, in different points of the day, of course. So first pick, Tyrese Maxey, no-brainer to take that. And then we do have in League of Legends, we are taking Rich, Willer, UCal under 20 kills. All right, so it's the combination of all three of these players to go under. If you kind of know what I'm talking about here, if you understood what I was talking about with League of Legends, you have 3 players on the same team to go under. Okay, so we need this team to lose the game. If they end up losing the game, they're probably going to go under, and they're going to go all under 20 kills. If they end up winning the game, they're probably going to do very well, and they're all going to go over together. Okay, guys. Right now, this team is favored to go 1-1, so it's very similar to yesterday's pick. And I think if this game does go 1-1, I think they're going to go under this line. All right, guys. So again, there's been a lot of 2-0s, 0-2s, and stuff like that. But again, if this game goes 1-1 in the 2 maps they play, they will likely go under. Probably the game that they win, they might get like 12 kills combined as a team, or as a three man right here. And then in the game that they lose, they might only get like 5 kills or something like that, right? Because it's a lot of these teams do very bad when they do lose the game, right? So that right there would be 17, and they would probably go under in that game. All right, guys. So those are going to be the 3 plays of the day. Here's on PrizePicks. Here's on Chalkboard. Here is on REBET. And again, I would go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and start. If you've never watched League of Legends, I have a video on this channel explaining League of Legends, why I think it's the best esport to bet on, actually the best sport to bet on. And again, sit down if you have some time, watch a League of Legends game, just see how the game plays out, see what I'm talking about, where a winning team is going to dominate the game, a losing team is going to not dominate the game, all right? If you're spending your hard-earned money betting like this, you need to understand, some sort of resemblance of what's happening in the game, so you're confident placing placing these bets, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.